All right, so our first question from the media here is going to come from Scott Wright from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Scott.
All right, LD. I guess the easy question is, what got into you, man? You were running angry. It looked like out there the other day.
Yeah, I miss playing football. That's what that is. That's all. Yeah, it was just offensive line was creating holes and shit. It's our job to hit them. So that's really all there was to it.
What was your off-season focus like? Were there things you were working on to try to improve your game?
Gaining weight, that's weird to say, but just trying to just maintain to play over like 200 pounds. I never did that in the season, so that's just, if you're more physical and bigger, you could take more damage. So yeah, I just concentrated on gaining weight, gaining muscle mass, and so I've been pushing 200 pretty well. I hope I just stay in that area just to be able to play and still be fast as well. So yeah.
And could you feel a difference out there on Saturday?
Yeah, I could. I felt a much better difference just taking the toes of the hits and stuff. So I credit to Tulsa. They got some players that can hit. So yeah, I felt the difference just being at 200, and I felt like I was still fast. Hopefully, so yeah, everything went good. So
thanks, LD.
Yes, sir.
Our next question is going to come from Cody Nagel from Go Pokes. Go ahead, Cody.
Hey, LD, what do you remember, I guess, of the Stills brothers from West Virginia? They're probably two of the best, defensive linemen that you guys will face this year.
Yes, sir. Just high motor. They have a really high motor. They just effort. They're effort guys who's going to get to the ball, and we expect to double team them a lot, and we expect them to try to create chaos as well. So it'll be important for us to just know where they are at on the field, because we know that they can dominate a game in the interior as well. So.
I guess, what did you see from your offensive line on Saturday? You were obviously in the backfield a couple times. I guess, how did they handle all the different adjustments that they had to make throughout the game?
Yeah, it was a lot of adversity, but man, we got some seniors on that group who just credit to like Josh Seals, Tevin Jenkins, who just kept their group ahead and just a whole, just saying we could do this, pushing through everything, and it was just they just withstood anything. We had a lot of injuries, had to move some guys around, but they handled it very good, and we got the W, so that's really all that mattered.
All right, appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Cody.
Our next question is going to come from Jenny Carlson from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jenny.
Hey, LD, how are you?
I'm doing good, Jenny. How are you?
I'm well. Hey, so another running back, Thurman Thomas, is going into the Ring of Honor there at OSU this weekend. I wonder, you're so young. Do you have a concept of who Thurman is, what he's about? Have you guys?
I actually don't. I was just talking to Sean on the way up here. Just have I ever got to meet him or whatever? I got a chance to meet Barry when we did the throwback jersey for him, but I never got to meet Thurman. So I'll be looking forward to it. So, and then I know we're wearing the throwback uniforms. That's very exciting as well. So it's something we're looking forward to this weekend for sure.
For even though you may not know a ton about him just now, the fact that he's a running back and he's the first guy into that Ring of Honor, what does that mean for you and for guys that play that position at OSU?
Yes, man, just a stepping stone, just a moving in direction, whatever. Like you see guys in the league who get contracts and it's the same position. It's just something to look at and be like, oh, I can do that. So it's capable, and I'm capable of doing that. And it's just a big honor for him. So congratulations to him. I know he was one of the GOATs of Oklahoma State. So yeah. So congrats to him as well.
Cool. Thanks, LD.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Jen.
Our next question is going to come from Chris Budden from ESPN. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, I'm just curious, how does one go about gaining weight and gaining muscle during a COVID time when you had to kind of go back home during March and you're up to your own workout?
Yeah, Oklahoma State has their ways, Chris. I'll tell you that. Just eating right, eat, sleep, and really repeat. And that's really all we do with just being around the same people and everything else. And our nutritionists do a good job with watching what we partake in our body and stuff. So they're on track of it. So I leave it up to those guys.
Was that hard when you have to, you get sent home in March and you're still trying to be strict about your diet?
Chris, the toughest part is just putting on – it's a such thing as bad weight. Just eating too much and so it's always, you got to be careful of that as always. But I did a pretty good job, I would say, just being lenient towards what I wanted to eat and stuff back home, because I had so many options. I had a lot of downtime, but we picked it right back up at OSU. So we did good.
Good deal. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Chris.
LD, there's no such thing as bad weight. We're all doing just fine. Our value is very good too, you know.
I'll let you tell it, Gavin.
All right. Our next question is going to come from Frank Bonner from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, LD, Gundy said that he told you that it looked like this was one of the funnest times you've had playing in that game in Tulsa. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, man, like I said earlier, man, Frank, it was just you miss playing football with so much uncertainty going around, and just with the season and everything, it was just fun to be out there. And the best thing to do is just have fun, play loose, and that's when you play your best. And that's what coaches always instill in us: just play loose, play fast. And that's really all I was worried about doing. So.
He mentioned your not just your running, but your blocking. Is that something that you focused on this offseason?
Most definitely protect the quarterback at all times, man. We don't want our quarterback getting hit. So, yeah, I pride myself on pass protection as well. Pass protection and ball security. That's the number one thing Coach Wise get on us about. So, most definitely.
My last question for you is about the electronic whistles. I know, some people are saying they can't hear them. Did you hear the whistles out there at all?
I honestly couldn't, and then there was a lot of doing that and going around, so it was like, yeah. And then, like, credit to our crowd. Before I say anything, credit to our crowd, man. They were so loud when the offense did anything, so it was really hard to hear any whistle. So, yeah, it was something you got to get used to. But, yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Frank.
Our next question comes from Ryan Breeden from the O'Colly. Go ahead.
Hey, LD. Long time no see, my man.
What's up, Ryan?
So, in terms of just conditioning and game readiness, I know this offseason was like pretty crazy and not like anything you guys have ever had before. Can you just describe kind of how it was different this year going into week 1 in terms of that conditioning and game readiness as to years past?
Really just, well, like I said, just the uncertainty of like when. There was a lot on our mind of when are we going to play. And it's just, we had a lot of downtime of just practice. I think Gunny said we had 33 practices, which was like mind-boggling. Just that's like a whole month of worth of practice, and it was just something to look forward to. We just kept our head straight, stayed our mental straight, and that's really was it with that.
Did it feel any different this week? Like for week 1, did it feel any different this year compared to last year?
I would say the vibe was different, knowing that, okay, y'all, we're getting close. It's about time. It's about to be real. So, like, and then that's really, everybody was just hype about that. So, and then when we got to Saturday, we knew it was game day. We could tell the environment and everything else. So it was fun, man. It was real fun. Like I said, the crowd was really, really hyped. Anytime we did anything. So big credits to them.
Thank you, LD. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Ron.
All right, our last question for LD is going to come from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
LD, how's it going, man?
So, Jacob, I'm doing good, man.
Good. Hey, I'm kind of curious. I know the eligibility stuff has changed a little bit, but being a senior, does that kind of change your mentality, how you approach this offseason and this season?
It does always, man, because you got to think, man, this is probably my last chance. And, of course, everybody gets this year back, but just with that mentality of, man, just try to make some shape. Like I said, I promise you, I took this away from CC a long time ago, Chris Carson, who's with the Seattle Seahawks, just put something on tape. So that's just a mentality you have to have with everything you do, of just showing teams you can do stuff and everything else. So, yes, sir.
And what did you think of Shane coming in Saturday?
Oh, man, big ups. Like, as a freshman, just getting thrown in the fire, man, he had a lot of heart, but he built for it, and we appreciate what he came in and did for us. So, and I'm pretty sure the receivers feel the same way.
Thanks, LD.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Jacob.
LD, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
For you, everything, all the success you had on Saturday. I know it's just the tip of the iceberg, and greater things are yet to come. I can't wait to see what's next for you.
Appreciate it, my dude. Y'all be safe.
All right. Your fam, all right? You take care. All right. Have a good night.
My boy, bro. All yours, bro. Get him one first. I got you. All right, son.
Dylan, how you doing?
Doing good. How are y'all?
Good, doing well, thanks. By now you kind of already know the drill. We'll just have everybody send in their questions here individually. So if you have a question for Dylan Stoner, just go ahead and click raise hand. Our first question is going to come from Chris Becker from the O'Colly. Go ahead, Chris.
Dylan, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. The offensive line had to shuffle a lot of pieces together on Saturday. How do you think they handled that, and how did you have to adjust?
Yeah, it's tough. Anytime we two guys go down in position group, it's hard, especially at the offensive line. It's such a vital part to any offense. With circumstances given, I thought they handled it well. It's unfortunate for those guys, praying for them for a quick recovery, but it's next man up mentality. So get a full week of practice with the new offensive line. Hopefully be ready to go by Saturday.
Having an offseason with limited time with, Coach Glass and strength and conditioning, how that impacted everyone, including yourself?
Yeah, it's tough. Guys are put in a position to kind of figure things out on their own. I know a lot of people didn't have access to gyms, so they're just kind of making stuff up. But I was fortunate enough to be able to get into a few gyms and stick with Coach Glass's program. So, it was difficult for sure, and I know that I was very fortunate compared to some other guys. But, that hasn't stopped us from working hard in the summer and even when we came back here.
Thanks, Dylan.
Appreciate it.
Our next question comes from Jenny Carlson from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jenny.
Hey, Dylan, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I've got two vastly different questions. The first is about your true freshman quarterback who came in there on Saturday. How surprised were you at just his ability to execute, being a young guy and all of the restrictions on spring ball, fall practice, quarantines, just all of that piled up?
Yeah, no, he handled it really well. There's no doubt about it. There's no secret. He's here for a reason. He's a baller. So his confidence and poise is what really impressed me. To come in to a game where not a lot's going on offense and got some guys hurt. That's what surprised me the most. So hats off to him. I know he'll just continue to get better the longer that he's here.
My second vastly different question is about Thurman Thomas going into y'all's Ring of Honor on Saturday. You being a guy from the state, how aware are you? You're so much younger than, he was long gone by the time you were even born, but how aware are you of Thurman and just his legacy at Oklahoma State?
Yeah, a lot of people almost forget about Thurman because of how successful Barry was, but Thurman had just as good, if not better, numbers in a lot of categories. So for him to get honored is a great deal. And, I'm glad we're paying the respects to Thurman for sure.
Have you had a chance to cross paths with him at all over the last few years?
I have not.
Good. All right. Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you.
Next question is going to come from Scott Wright from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Scott.
Dylan, I wanted to ask you about LD Brown. Obviously Chuba is the guy, and everybody knows what he can do. But talk about LD and what you saw from him and what he was doing on Saturday.
Man, I was so freaking happy for him. We came in together. We were actually roommates freshman year, so to watch him, get those opportunities to make the most of it has been really cool to see. I know he had a great camp, did a fantastic job all the way through. Obviously, we're seeing that now, so he's going to continue to grow and make the most of his opportunities.
With his personality, does he sort of lend to that? With a lot of guys getting excited for him because he's so excitable himself.
Yeah, no, if you don't like LD, something's wrong with you. So he's one of the most likable dudes on the team. Everyone respects that guy. So, everyone loves to see him be successful on Saturdays.
Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Chris Budden from ESPN. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, I'm just wondering, who is the guy on offense when you guys hit adversity that is your vocal leader you turn to, or is it you?
I think it's a lot of guys. We're a pretty heavy senior class this year. Got a lot of experience in different positions. So, I would say us as a senior class, the offense and defense kind of, step up and rally the guys. And, everyone has kind of the same mentality, never too high, never too low. So, it's easy to kind of rally, get behind the guys that are more vocal than others at times. But I'd say, honestly, it's the whole senior class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Dylan, I know we got to get you in the cold tank here, so just last couple questions. This one will come from Frank Bonner from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, Dylan. Last time we talked to Gundy, he talked about how the conditioning levels suffered a little bit because of this offseason. from a conditioning standpoint, how did it feel being out there on Saturday?
You know, personally, I felt good. The only big adjustment was just the heat, you know, playing and at 11 o'clock and getting back into the turf. So we hadn't done that since the summer, but that really was the only thing. I think all in all, I think guys were good. Just main thing is stay hydrated and play to the best of your ability. So it's not like Coach Gundy says all the time, weather's perfect. You can't change it. So we just try to control what we can control.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, and our final question for Dylan is going to come from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Hey, Dylan, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Hey, I was kind of curious. You had your career-long punt return on Saturday. How do you approach those lately? It seems like you've gotten a little more aggressive.
Yeah, it's just it's a comfort deal. You know, the longer you do it, the more comfortable and confident you are. And, you know, just trusting my teammates when a return is called that they're going to do their job, and I'll do mine.
And I'm curious, the other receivers, you know, obviously we're still kind of learning about them, the new guys. Who's kind of stood out to you as you move forward here, the new guys, the receivers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brennan Presley's came in since the jump and made plays everywhere that he's been put. So he's going to continue to grow and get more comfortable, and he's going to be fun to watch.
Awesome. Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you.
So Dylan, we're very thankful for you. Before we take off though, do you have any last thoughts, any things that you want to talk about? Maybe you have something that was missed while we've got the group here together?
I don't think so. I think you guys covered it. Appreciate you guys and your time. So you guys be safe rest this week, and God bless.
All right. We appreciate you as always. Thank you so much, Dylan.
Guys, take care.
Take care. Have a good night.